Hi everyone, I'm Molly, reporting live from the Manufacturer Studio at the floor of Smart Manufacturing Week. I'm joined with Sandhya from Heineken. So just to start off, for the purpose of the video, would you mind introducing yourself, telling us your name and a bit about what you do?
Absolutely. So I'm Sandhya Mathur. I'm currently the site director for Heineken Cider site in Herefordshire. And my background, I am from, before this I was working with Unilever in the ice cream business in Sweden for about 7 years. And before that, I was with PepsiCo in India.
Wow, so a very varied career then, definitely. So just going back to earlier today, you were on the part of the Women in Manufacturing panel. Could you tell us a little bit about the takeaways from that and what stood out to you the most?
Absolutely. I think it was just fantastic to hear the different insights from academia and industry, and what really stood out is the need for representation, because there's truly a lack of role models today, and it's so important for the generations today to look at what are the possibilities out there, because manufacturing has a lot of stereotypes in terms of what kind of roles I could be doing. Is it a factory environment? Do I have to work shifts? But there's so much out there. It's just a plethora of opportunities. So I think definitely that is something that stood out, the need to bust that myth.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just getting that visibility out there of what is available to young people and to people maybe wanting a change in their career. Why are discussions like that, covering inclusion and gender diversity in the sector, important for us to be having?
We covered that as well. I think it's a competitive advantage today. Even if you just look at the population that we have in the UK, 51% are women. Those are our consumer base. Those are our potentially our future potential employees. It's so important to connect with them and understand what are their needs. And then also, there is such an amazing talent pool out there. Just finding them and just working with them. And finally, I think diversity is fun. You have different perspectives, different mindsets coming together in one room, and that makes your place of work quite stimulating and exciting.
Of course. So as you mentioned just in the beginning, you've had a varied experience in global manufacturing, from PepsiCo in India, Unilever in Sweden, and now Heineken in the UK. Across that, what has been the biggest shifts between work culture or leadership across these regions, whether that's in diversity or culture or all these types of things?
It's quite, you can find both similarities and differences and nuances, because it is truly different in a lot of ways, and at the end of the day it's people, so it's also human nature is quite common everywhere. I think if you talk about India, they are really, it's a fast growing economy. In terms of technology, they are far ahead of their peers in other parts of the world, and that means that there's a very low barrier for innovation and creativity. Also, India is a very diverse country, so you have this organic acceptance and understanding for what diversity means. So customization is at the highest. From a manufacturing point of view, they're definitely ahead of the game when it comes to adopting technologies and making workplace smarter and more efficient. If you talk about Sweden, they are very, very unique as well. I think in the last couple of years, they've seen a lot of migration happening, a lot of immigrants coming in. So what they were not used to now, they're developing a lot of keen interest in studying how does diverse workplace work. They have great processes in place. Well-being is a huge important topic for them. So they bring that to life even in workplace, and that's quite exciting because you would not find that in India. And if you look at UK, I think it's a mix of both worlds. UK is definitely one of the European hubs for education. The vocational education system is just fantastic. You wouldn't find that in a lot of European countries either. So really the culture is about bringing that young talent into the workplace, and also I think UK is spending a lot of time on understanding how they can make the manufacturing more sustainable. So there's ambition to learn, and there's appetite to learn, and that's exciting to see.
Yeah, definitely very exciting. From your experience, what manufacturing challenges are unique to the UK compared to places like Sweden or even India?
Well, as I said, one, adoption of technology. I think UK is slightly behind some of the other countries when it comes to manufacturing technologies, when it comes to automation and digitalization. And there's definitely some work to be done there. One, learning from your peers, but also working together with the young companies and the bright minds to see what they can do. The other thing which I think UK is good at, as I said, is the education, and the talent pool is just amazing to see such competent people around, and that's something that the other countries could learn from. How can they capitalize on the talent and learning and development mechanism that is present in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. I mean, for my next question anyway, of what they can learn from us. But what can we learn from them? Is there anything across India or across Europe that you've seen them do exceptionally well that maybe we could understand a bit more?
Well, from Sweden, I would say definitely well-being, because the mental well-being today is a very important topic in place of work, and Sweden has really nailed that topic quite well in terms of their policy making, in terms of the ecosystem and the support system that is present in places of work. It's definitely something that can encourage more and more people to join the manufacturing industry, because, as I said, one of the stereotypes of manufacturing industries is that if I'm a carer at home, I'll not have enough opportunities in my place of work. Also, it can be quite stressful in terms of shift work, as an example, and with the different mental well-being opportunities, physical well-being opportunities that, as an example, Sweden has. There's something definitely that, from an industry point of view, UK can adopt that will help more and more talent coming into the manufacturing industry.
Yeah, definitely. I think across any workplace, even manufacturing and beyond that, well-being is such a hot topic at the moment, something that companies really need to work on and are trying to improve on. Just going back to what you do at Heineken, how is the drinks manufacturing sector evolving right now in terms of sustainability, technology, consumer expectations? Is there anything you're noticing trend-wise?
Well, a lot has changed. I used to work with Pepsi a couple of years ago, and now I'm almost coming back in a circle to the beverage industry. The definition of drinks has evolved in the last 10 years, from your traditional beer, cider, spirits, and carbonated beverages to everything that's possible and available in the market. You have your energy drinks, your functional drinks. So I think the market has evolved, the consumer choices have evolved. Today you'll see more youngsters wanting low and no options in the market. And that means that the companies have to stay in the game. It's not so much about the brand or the product anymore, it's about the story that you're sharing behind. It's very important for the consumers today to understand what your brand stands for. As an example, we make cider, so we have our brand Strongbow, which connects really, really well we were official partners for the Pride event. So again, for consumers to see that they can connect with it, there is such a wide variety, and this is what the brand stands for. This is how I can connect with them. It's that emotional, social community connect, which is really, really important. Similarly, if you look at Inches, which is our other cider brand, it talks a lot about how the apples are locally sourced, and from a 40-mile radius, that is where we are getting it from. Sustainability has become so much more important today than what it was a decade ago for consumers. So yes, those trends are changing and are definitely putting higher responsibility on the companies today to think about their brands and their values.
Yeah, and for how a customer or a consumer can relate to those when looking at something on a shelf. Why are you going to choose one over the other? It's because you have that association with something you can relate to. What advice would you give to young professionals, especially women, aspiring to lead in a manufacturing role like yourself or join the manufacturing industry? Is there any advice you'd give them, or maybe looking back you can give us a little bit about what you was thinking back then?
Well, I think definitely have a lot of courage, because when you are the starting point today is that the proportion is perhaps skewed in a certain way. You will not see a lot of women representation in manufacturing, and it can be intimidating, and you may not find the courage to ask questions, you may not find the courage to learn, you may not find the courage to tell yourself, well, that is something that I can do. So really finding that courage and working towards it. Investing in your learning is definitely important, and I think that only helps in moving forward with the career. So I would say stay curious, have that courage, and you'll find your way.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Molly.